Naihanchi Tekki is a karate kata performed in straddle stance, kiba-dachi. It translates to internal divided conflict. The form makes use of infighting techniques and grappling. In Shorin-Ryu and Matsubayashi-ryū, Naihanchi Shodan is the first Ni Kyu, although it is taught to Yon Kyu occasionally before evaluations for the Ni Kyu rank. It is also the first Shorin-Ryu and Shindo-jin kata to start with a technique to the right instead of the left. There are 3 modern kata derived from this. Some researchers believe Nidan and Sandan were created by Anko Itazu, but others believe that it was originally one kata broken into 3 separate parts. The fact that only Naihanchi Tekki Shodan has a formal opening suggests the kata was split, whilst the kata is linear, moving side to side. The techniques can be applied against attackers at any angle. The side-to-side movements in a low stance build up the necessary balance and strength for fast footwork and body shifting. The kata are intricate strategies of attacking and defensive movement done in the kiba-dachi, for the purpose of conditioning the legs to develop explosive power. If one rotates one's torso a few degrees to one side or the other while performing Naihanchi Tekki, the result is the hachi-monji, or figure-8 stance. Some researchers believe the form is a non-ballistic 2-man grappling exercise. History. In his 1922 book titled Tate, Ryukyu Kenpo, Gichin Funakoshi called this series of forms Naihanchi, and attributes the form to what he calls the Shorin-Ryu. Similarly, Motobu Choki spells the name of this form, Naihanchi, in his 1926 Okinawa Kenpo Tate Jutsu. By 1936, in his Karate de Kyohan, Funakoshi had started referring to this form as kiba-dachi, or cavalry horse stance, while still referencing the original Naihanchi name. In the 1973 Karate de Kyohan, the master text, a translation of the 1956 second edition of the Kyohan book, there is no longer any mention of Naihanchi, and the book claims the form, which it calls Tekki, is named in reference to the distinctive feature of these kata, the horse-riding stance. Quote, other than the Shorin-Ryu reference, none of these books attribute the form to any particular source or practitioner. Itazu was reported to have learned the kata from Soken Matsumura, who learned it from a Chinese man living in Tomari. Itazu was thought to have changed the original kata. The form is so important to old-style karate that Kentsuyabu often told his students karate begins and ends with Naihanchi, and admonished his students must practice the kata 10,000 times to make it their own. Before Itazu created the Pinun kata, Naihanchi would traditionally be taught first in Tomarite and Shurite schools, which indicates its importance. Gichin Funakoshi learned the kata from Anko Isato. Funakoshi renamed the kata Tekki in reference to his old teacher Itazu and the form's power. The oldest known reference to Naihanchi are in the books of Motobu Choki. He states the kata was imported from China, but is no longer practiced there. Motobu learned the kata from Soken Matsumura, Sakuma Pechen, Anko Itazu and Kosaku Matsumura. Motobu taught his own interpretation of Naihanchi, which included Tai-like grappling and throwing techniques. In the earlier days of karate training, it was common practice for a student to spend 2 to 3 years doing nothing but Naihanchi Tekki, under the strict observation of the teacher. Motobu Choki, famous for his youthful brawling at Tsuji, credited the kata with containing all that one needs to know to become a proficient fighter. The Tekki series of kata were renamed by Funakoshi from the Naihanchi kata, which were were derived from an older, original kata, Naihanchi. Naihanchi was brought to Okinawa via Fuzhou, China, at some point in the long history of trade between the two kingdoms. It was broken into 3 distinct segments, possibly by Anko Itazu, Toku Minpechin, or Motobu Choki. The kata are performed entirely in kiba-dachi. The name Tekki itself translates to iron horse. Tekki Shodan, literally meaning iron horse riding, first level, is the first of the series, followed by Tekki Nidin and Tekki Sandan. In the 1960s, a kung fu practitioner, Daichi Kaneko, studied a form of Taiwanese white crane boxing, known as Dan Kyu banned by Hikwan. Kaneko, an acupuncturist who lived in Yonabaru, Okinawa, taught a form called Nishi in Mandarin. This form includes the same sweeping action found in the Namigeshi technique of Naihanchi. Nishi is pronounced Nohanchi in Fuzhou dialect, which could indicate Nishi as the forerunner to Naihanchi. Embasin. The embasin is a straight line, running horizontally to the left and right of the dojo.